2022. My name is Jamie.
And I am Benjamin.
And together, we are from the Customer Relations Department. It is our pleasure to welcome and thank you for joining us on this special day. We have a full lineup of events planned, and we hope you are looking forward to it just as much as we are for this open house.
Before we get started, here are some ground rules so that everyone can have a pleasant session together. We would like to ask everyone to refrain from using any strong language in the comment section below and be respectful towards one another and other viewers alike.
Stay towards the end of this introduction for our open house application fee waiver that can be applied to all our short courses, and learn about the many other bundles we have specially prepared for this open house.
For the rest of the day, we have talks from our trainers who will be sharing about our courses and their experience as leading industry professionals.
Our program advisors will also be joining us to talk about the many government funding schemes available and enrollment eligibilities. Part of life after TaF.tc includes a very exciting upcoming partnership with universities all over the world, namely University of Arts London, Kingston University, and many more.
If furthering your education is not your cup of tea, we'll have a sneak peek from industry partners giving you a glimpse into how working in the fashion industry is like.
And now for the part we've all been waiting for, our code for this year's open house, OHMAR2022.
This code can be used for any of our short courses during enrollment to waive off the application fee. Again, that is OHMAR2022.
First up, we have Doreen and Thomas sharing with us more on our apparel design courses.
Hi, welcome to the Fashion Open House. My name is Thomas Tan. I'm a full-time trainer here at TaF.tc. I was trained in locally as a fashion designer. After that, I worked for a local brand. And after a few years, I went to work for a factory. So working for a factory, I get to travel to various different production places to really let me understand how clothes are being made. And also I get to travel to Europe and US to work with designers and buyers. So I really got to know the process of mass production that happens at the back. So with me is Doreen.
I have been in this industry for over 3 decades. I used to work in the international buying office, so I travel a lot all around the world. So I think that it's very interesting to see how our industry works in different countries, from the fibers to the textile mills, to the garment manufacturers, and of course to the retailer. I love this industry because I think we make an impact. Just for example, like Cambodia, when I first went in there, they were just garment manufacturing ground. Today you go to Cambodia, you actually see malls, you see shops, beautiful hotels. So the industry actually is one of the frontier that allows the country to get developed very quickly. Some people think that the fashion industry is only about production. Some people think that it's just fashion. But I see it as an industry by itself with technology, with manufacturing, with marketing, with digital marketing. So it's actually a very, very interesting industry.
So why do you want to learn about the apparel and product development side of it? The reason is because it is an opportunity to learn how to identify markets and opportunities to create trendy products. Also, we actually have a lot of hands-on experiences, meaning that you'll actually be doing sewing, you'll be doing drawing, a lot of hands-on activities versus what you get from pretty much maybe traditional education where it's more theory-based and all that. We have a good mix of both, and of course acquire the know-how to actually test and modify the product for production. The main thing is about the aspect of production, which we tend to focus on a lot more.
Yeah.
So I think when you take up the diploma courses, whether you are in fashion business or in apparel design, we cover 9 common modules.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I think both modules cover is the textiles. Yes, textiles is very, very important. So I always tell students that to learn textiles in our industry is like if you want to be an English teacher and you have to learn your alphabets. That's how basic it is. All right. That is going to be probably one of your highest costs when it comes to creating a garment. A huge part of it is
60
textile.
to 70% of the FOB, the cost, is on fabric.
It's on fabrics.
Yeah.
So you have to know how your fabrics are made. What is the content of your fabric? Where does it come from? How is it being grown or created in the lab, right? How to identify them, how they are being knitted or woven. So of course, analyze garment construction, really understand how garments are being made in the mass production aspect. The reason is obviously because there is a couture way of doing clothes, all right? But that is more refined and more expensive and time consuming. Obviously in our mass production way, because time is money, We want to make sure that you achieve it in a very efficient yet at a quality that is acceptable at the price that you're going to pay for.
Doesn't mean that if you do mass production, the quality is less. Because even though the couture would have like a lot of hand finishing and all that, but some of the equipment that's used by mass production in terms of, let's say for example, the welt pocket, the whole automation is almost perfect finishing. So I would say that the government construction actually allows you to look into detail how to finish a seam, how to finish, what kind of stitch to use. And I really find that very, very important, especially, I mean, just for example, Uniqlo, it might be a mass-produced brand, but if you look at the finishing, it's really good.
So this particular module really teaches you about the different kinds of seam and stitches. So as a designer, how you produce clothes is also the process of designing. How you want certain seams to be created and what kind of stitches you want. It is a process of designing as well,
And
because
then
it changes the look.
Yeah, I also design a kind of quality into the product.
Yeah. Then of course we move on, as many of the designers, or rather our students, many of them are budding entrepreneurs. So actually one of the things that we really talked about is to create and manage fashion brands. Alright, so if you are in the process of creating your own brand or have thought about creating your own brand, how do you go about understanding your target market? How to really understand your unique selling point? What's so special about the product that you're selling? And of course, if you're part of the apparel product development class, drafting and sewing is a huge part of your life, all right? So we do have modules like apparel pattern and sew tops, apparel pattern and sew bottoms. So we broke it into two different modules because the way that it's constructed is actually quite different. As a designer, I also believe that drafting and sewing is part of design. I've gone to factories and seen blog shop people, when they send clothes to the factory and the sample maker will be, how do you want to do this? The owner always say, I'm not too sure, you decide. So what they're doing is actually relinquishing a lot of the design work because there are ways to create certain things that changes the look of a garment.
Yeah.
So if you do that, then you are letting go of that designing power to someone who may not know design. Also, with drafting, we also talk about draping as well. So draping, again, we covered that because fabrics that we see in the markets are actually knits. I'm sure many of you own knits, especially women consumers, because a lot of women, from what I know, is that they don't like to iron clothes, right? So when they see that it's ironed, they don't want to really, so they tend to buy knits, which is more, user-friendly. So with that, we really need to understand how fabric will drape. And now with certain brands like Zara, up to the market fashion brands, right? Draping elements and all that becomes an important element. So that's why we built this into our modules. Another important element is to really understand how to fit your garment and what are the problems with fitting and how to do those alterations. So really looking at the variety of body shapes that obviously our students are in because you wear your own clothes, right, as your own model. So you really understand how to understand body morphologies, how to really see the fit that you want and how to make those changes. The next one we'll talk about is actually virtual fitting as well. So we talk about actual drafting and sewing, but actually now we're going to move on to something that is virtual. So in this particular course, in TaF.tc, we are actually using Clo 3D. It's one of the most innovative things we've seen in fashion for maybe about the past 10 years or so, all right? So what you'll be learning is how to sew and fit a virtual garment, all right? So you'll be creating an avatar.
On a virtual model.
On a virtual model, so we'll be creating an avatar, and then how do you fit it and how to read those information of the fitting, all right? It's actually quite an amazing software, but having said that, obviously with new technology, it saves you on cost, it saves you on it saves you time.
The other one is draw digital image. So instead of drawing with the pen and paper, right now we can draw pictures using the CAD software. So we are using the Adobe Illustrator together with Photoshop, I believe.
Yeah. And of course, for our product development module, the finale module will be the Develop Design Collection. You have to know about sourcing and fabrics and drafting and sewing and all that, and you tie everything together in a project. So now we're going to move on to the fashion business side of it. So Doreen will talk a little bit more about the fashion business modules.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the diploma in fashion business. You talk about textiles, same for merchandisers, you need to know textiles. We basically will go through this interpret pattern draft, which is actually sewing up a t-shirt and a shorts. The whole objective is not to ask you to sew up a nice t-shirt and shorts. The whole objective is for you to understand how apparel production is being done. This one is so important. Manage quality assurance. I think most of the students find this most challenging topic because you never look at fabric that way. I work with United Nations, right? So when I talked to the tech person and I said this fabric is rejected. He was like, why is it rejected? I said, there you go, you can't see the slabs there? And it's like, where? I was like, to me it's so obvious, but to the non-expert, they will find it, where is the slab? So it really helps you to really scrutinize your material, your stitch, your seam. We refer to this module, source for supplies and production. Well, as any startup entrepreneur, you have to source for materials, you have to source for garment manufacturers to produce your small quantities. However, in our program on source for supplies and production, we're looking at how to, not only where to source, but how to source, how to evaluate suppliers that you think that can live with you as you grow bigger and bigger, all right? Not only looking at price, not looking at MOQ, which is minimum order quantity, not only looking at lead time, but whether this supplier has the ability to produce good quality, has the ability to be a partner with you. We're also talking about not pricing, but rather whether they give you any credit terms and so forth, all right? So that's something that we will cover in this module called Source for Supplies and Production. And this module, my favorite, Calculate Cost of Materials and Apparel. This module is actually very well liked by many entrepreneurs. Even garment factory owners will actually ask us about this because this module covers standard allowed minutes or standard minute value. So it not only covers how to calculate fabric consumption and then how to calculate fabric cost, but it also teaches you how to calculate labor cost, all right? From the time, how much time is taken for cutting and for sewing and for packing. So we really work down all the way to cost per minute. And it is how the industry works scientifically. This is my favorite managed sustainable fashion value chain. I would say, I think by now, most of us know that fashion is actually the second most detrimental to environment industry. We produce a lot of waste. Even in dyeing, we produce our wastewater. In cutting process, we produce a lot of waste fabric. And then people buy and throw away fashion, and that produces a lot of waste as well.
And if they don't sell the garments, it's
and then
a lot of waste.
they might
They'll
burn it.
They might burn
especially
it,
on brands, they actually burn it. I think now they are clamping down on that because that's also very wasteful and very
Highly
bad
wasteful,
for environment.
yes.
And then we have all these e-fashion business related courses. So there's a course that teaches you how to use Shopify to create an online e-commerce website. There's another course on social media marketing, teaching you how to use Facebook, Google Ads, and then we have inbound marketing, which is many people may or may not have heard. It's called CRM, a customer relationship management tool. The most famous one, of course, you got Salesforce and HubSpot, but we start with a simple one like MailChimp, which is free. So that's something that I think you can keep in touch with your existing customer with some kind of marketing campaign tools such as MailChimp. Paid search engine optimization, SEM, is also very important, where you can put out paid Google ads. And how do you manage that? Then you have SEO, search engine optimization, where your website needs to be SEO optimized or rather search engine optimized so that people can find you. And I think all these modules are just, I would say these are basics that you should know. I think one thing good about being a TaF.tc graduate is that there's also another platform called the Label SG that our diploma graduates can go on board because I know that to set up a website and to bring traffic to your site is going to be very difficult. One of the things that we have worked very hard over the last 2 years is on accreditation with other universities. Louise Clermont, who is our colleague in France, she will actually be able to give you more information about accreditations.
Because many students always say that, so what happens after I graduate from TaF.tc? So we do have work with other institutions overseas where you can take your degree program and other something that kind of bring you further to where your dreams will take you.
Besides going to further education, you can also work, start your own label, do many things. I think the fashion industry has endless, boundless opportunities. It depends on how far you dare to bring.
I think there are many channels after graduating at TaF.tc, considering like, for example, for the Label SG, you can set up your brand. If you want to take your course further, you can do your accreditation. If you want to work for a company, we have the PCP program and all that kind of stuff. So there are many channels of what you want your fashion future will be. All right.
And right now, I would say that I'm seeing a lot renewed interest of the fashion industry in Singapore, because many of the big brands are coming to Singapore to set their regional HQ, and I see that there will be a lot more buzz going on. So I feel that the future would be digital, because we don't have anything, so let's make something out of nothing, which is digitalization, seriously.
So if doing this particular diploma, these two, whether is it ADPD or apparel design and product development
Or
fashion business, so you can contact the salesperson Meng Qian to find out more about this module. So see you around. Thank you.
Thank you, Doreen and Thomas, for the insightful sharing. Do you guys know that the diploma is actually designed in such a way that it prepares our students for the industry?
Yeah, from sewing to creating different types of garment, to learning how to manage your own fashion brand, these courses will lead you to create your own fashion collection.
Speaking of a fashion collection, virtual prototyping is actually one of the courses being taught where our students learn to create virtual garments. So these virtual garments will actually be able to allow our students to participate in our annual virtual fashion competition.
VFC last year was very eventful. There were a total of 187 participants and 10 of them walked the virtual runway during the finale.
So VFC will be happening again this year, so stay tuned to what this year's competition will have in store for you.
Before we move on to the next segment, if you have any questions, you can head to our Zoom room where one of our staff will answer your queries. The link is pinned in our chat below.
So next we'll have Meng Qian, who will be sharing more about our apparel design and advanced certificate for our fashion business bundles.
Hi, my name is Meng Qian. I'm a program advisor here in TaF.tc's, so I'm here to go through with you the upcoming intakes for our diploma and as well as the course details for the diploma in apparel design. In TaF.tc's, we focus on the outcome of our students' learning journey. So these are the industrial leading firms that I've been working with: Body Needs, Lido, Mako Taylor, Jin Lee, and also many other players. For individuals who are looking for a job in the fashion industry and also meet career switchers who are interested to switch jobs into the fashion industry, we offer a program. It's called the Career Conversion Program. So some of you might be asking how this program works. So you have to go through a 1.5 months training program. And in this 1.5 training program, you'll be taking part in a series of courses. So we have 4 different specialized bundles in fashion business, apparel design, bags design, and footwear designs. And you will also be attached with the host company for on-job training for 10.5 months. So in this 1 year, you will be receiving up to 12 mentorship sessions for the very first year. For TaF.tc's graduates, we will always pair you up with the host companies to go for 3 months internship programs in local and international fashion companies. So these will help our students to step into the industry with some learning experience before they start their full-time job. So for those of you who are wondering what kind of companies are currently hiring for internships, there are Lido, Olive & Cara, Yumi Active, and also VF Corporations. So just for information, VF Corporation owns Supreme and the North Face. So they are currently moved their office to Singapore. So there are plenty of opportunities out there for our graduates. We also do offer mentorship program for our graduates. So you can ask us to talk to any of the industrial experts and also start networking from there. All right, so this is actually a 1-to-1 mentorship programs, and it's happening once a month. Right, and together you can actually set your career goals and also talk about all the valuable guidance that you need to fulfill your fashion career goal. This is an opportunity that you can tag along with the mentor's wealth and knowledge in this industry and resources. So we also have other subsidies and fundings available for our students. One of them is Skill Future Credit, and for Singaporeans 25-year-old and above, you actually indeed receive up to $1,000 Skill Future Credit in your account. You can also use your PSEA, Post-Secondary Educational Account, to pay for the course fee. So this scheme is actually for Singaporeans who are aged 30 and below. And if you are an NTUC member, you should be able to receive up to $500 worth of UTEP funding. Alright, so this how it works is all of the course fee you have paid, you can claim up to 50% of the payable amount for our courses. And we also do offer installment scheme, and this is available for all the Singaporeans and PR paying net fee above $5,000. So who can actually apply for our programs? These are the eligibility criteria for interested candidates. If you are a Singaporean or permanent resident and you have a GCE O-level with 3 credits including English and mathematics, or your WPLN result is level 5 and above, you can actually apply for our diploma program. So for international students, if you have a high school diploma equivalent to GCE O-level with 3 credits including English and math, or qualifications from professional institution may also be considered on a case-to-case basis. If you are not qualified on the above, don't worry about it. You can actually take the WPLN test, and if you score level 5 and above, you can actually apply for our diploma program. And for advanced certificate program, you just have to score level 4 and above. And here are the upcoming intakes for our apparel design program. So we do have 2 upcoming intakes, and one is starting on the 18th of April to 18th of August. So this 4 months program will be a full-time intake. The timing will be Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. We also do offer a part-time intake, which is starting on the 7th of May to the 22nd April of 2023. So this program is approximately about for 12 months. And this happens every Tuesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. and weekend Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And if you are interested in advanced certificate in the apparel design, this indeed is a weekend intake. So the program is 3.5 months and it's going to start on 9th of April to 24th of July. And the timing will be weekend, 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. on both Saturday and Sunday. So why you should be enrolling today? It's because we are offering all the different perks during our open house. So one of them is we give reimbursement for all the qualification signups. So for diploma will be $192.60, and for advanced certificate will be $107. If you are interested in the short professional course, you will also be enjoying the $27.82 for application fee waiver. And for diploma in apparel design, you will actually receive a sewing toolkit worth $55, and you will receive a tablet worth $315. Of course, this you have to finish your program first, and it's yours to keep by end of the program. And you will also be receiving Adobe Illustrator license, and the duration will be 1 year. So this program is worth $315. So we do encourage our students to set up your own business after your diploma program. So we also do offer ACRA reimbursement worth $150. Of course, as mentioned, reimbursement of application fee worth $192.60. And for our advanced cert in fashion business, you actually receive a Shopify subscription worth $78, and also our sourcing supplier list. And again, you'll receive a reimbursement of application fee of $107. So for all our apparel design diploma graduates, you'll receive $1,000 Skills Future Qualification Training Award. And do note that this is a cash award and it will only be valid till December 2020. So right now is a good chance for you to sign up for this program and enjoy this cash award. So now I'm going to talk about the course fee for our TaF.tc's Diploma in Apparel Design and Product Development. For Singaporeans who are below 40 and all the PRs, you actually get to enjoy 70% SSG subsidy. So your final course fee for this program will be $7,143.84. For a Singaporean who are age 40 and above, you guys actually get to enjoy up to 90% subsidies. And the course fee will be $2,692.84. So for all the international students, your course fee will be $23,812.85. For those who are interested in the Advanced Certificate in Apparel Design and Product Development, for Singaporeans below 40 and for all the PRs, you enjoy 70% subsidies. So your final payment will be $2,015 So for Singaporeans aged 40 and above, you enjoy 90% subsidy, so final course fee will be $759.87. For all the international students, your course fee will be $6,719.60. For those who are interested in our advanced certificate in fashion business, for Singaporeans below 40 and all the PRs, you get to enjoy 70% subsidies. So your payment will be $2,011.05. For Singaporean aged 40 and above, you will enjoy 90% SSG subsidies. So your final payment will be $758.05. For international students, you'll be paying $6,703.55. If you have further questions about our diploma programs, you can also contact us, and our contact information are stated here. And hope you enjoy the rest of the open house, and see you soon.
Thanks Meng Qian for sharing. Learning is really made easier with these exclusive learning tools.
Yep. For our Diploma in Apparel Design, you'll receive actually 5 of them. So firstly, you'll get a sewing toolkit, a tablet for loan, which will be yours to keep upon completion of the diploma, an Adobe Illustrator license for a whole entire year, a reimbursement of the aircraft application fee, and the reimbursement of the application fee when you sign up for the diploma.
For Advanced Certificate in Apparel Design, you'll receive a sewing toolkit, a sewing machine, and the reimbursement of application fee.
Yep. And for our Advanced Certificate in Fashion Business, you receive a Shopify subscription for 3 months, exclusive access to our sourcing supplies list, and reimbursement of your application fee for the Advanced Certificate.
Yep, these learning tools will definitely help you during your learning journey here and enhance your experiences during classes.
So I'm sure everyone is interested to know about the upcoming intakes. So for our Diploma in Apparel Design, there'll be 2 full-time intakes and 1 part-time intake coming up.
As for Advanced Certificate in Apparel Design, there will be 3 intakes coming up, and all classes are held on weekends.
Moving on to our Advanced Certificate in Fashion Business, you can look forward to actually 3 upcoming intakes, so all classes will be held also on weekends.
You can head to our website at TaF.tc.org to find out more.
And do note that our courses are SkillsFuture and PSCA eligible as well.
Before we move on to our next segment, if you have any questions, you can head to our Zoom room and the link is pinned onto our chat.
Yep. Next, we have Louise, our Senior International Business Development Executive, talking about our accreditation with our overseas partner, UAL. And joining her from London will be Ashley Palmer, International Partnerships and Development Manager. So take it away, Louise.
Hi there, Louise here from TaF.tc. So as the International Business Development Senior Executive, I'm very, very pleased to introduce you to our super prestigious partner today, UAL. So you might not be familiar with the name UAL, but it's actually an umbrella name for 2 very prestigious art universities, London College of Fashion and Central St. Martin's. Today, we are live from London with Ashley Palmer, who is the International Partnership and Development Manager at UAL. Hello, Ashley. How are you today?
I'm great, thanks. Hi, Louise, and hi to everyone.
Thank you for your time today to introduce UAL and our collaboration to our students. It's very nice of you. So can you tell us a little bit more about the collaboration that you have between UAL and TaF.tc?
Yeah, sure. Well, we started the collaboration just a few years ago before the pandemic took over, and we're really excited to welcome students over from Singapore onto our study abroad programs. So our collaboration with University of the Arts London is for students to join, study abroad across any of the colleges, probably Central St. Martin's and London College of Fashion being the most suitable fit. And so we have courses that run throughout the academic year and in summer. And so our office will help your students to come over to London and take part in our programs.
So this applies to all our students. It's not just our diploma graduates, it really applies to all our students. That's a very good point. Can you maybe tell us a little bit more about the campus? How many students do you have? What are the different sections that they can choose from?
Sure thing. I also have this in a presentation coming up. But yeah, just in general, we have 6 university colleges, and they're spread across multiple campuses in central London. And so the kind of main ones that we mentioned, London College of Fashion, which is one of the biggest fashion colleges in Europe, and Central St. Martin's, which has fashion and textiles. And in addition to that, we have Chelsea College of Art, which is a fine art school that also has a very strong textile design course that may be of interest to some students.
Yeah, it's true that we are more familiar with London College of Fashion and Central St. Martin's, but the collaborations is with the 6 universities, if I'm not wrong.
That's correct. Yeah, so it'll cover the whole network, which is one of the largest in Europe for creative institutions.
Okay. If you want to present, like to show your presentation, feel free to do so. And if I have any question, I will maybe ask you along the presentation.
Great, thank you, Louise. So just to understand, this presentation's got to be quite short. We're going to do this in sort of 5 to 7 minutes, but do feel free to jump in and just, let me know if we need to speed up.
Okay.
So actually, it would help if I share the screen, wouldn't it?
Be nice.
Let's have a go. So thanks again for the opportunity to present programs and to make the connection. And we look forward to working together more closely. So this is University Arts London. As we said, it's a group of 6 colleges, and these are the 6 colleges. And the ones that I'd like to draw attention to for fashion and for textiles: Chelsea College of Arts for textile design, London College of Fashion, obviously for fashion and everything to do with fashion, and Central St. Martin's also for fashion and textile design. But together, this is a really strong network of creatives, 6 colleges across London, almost 20,000 students, highly ranked in art and design according to QS rankings. So it's at a good level. It's recently been named #1 for UK graduates starting a business. So this is a really creative network of entrepreneurs, people who are starting up collectives, starting up new businesses. And it's very prestigious, with a lot of famous designers, famous artists that have gone on to do great things in the world of arts, design, fashion, performance. UAL is located across London. It's in central London, zones 1 and 2, which is the majority of these campuses here, as well as further out, there's Wimbledon College of Arts, which is a performance specialist college. And so you can see that there's multiple campuses across these 6 colleges. London College of Fashion, for example, has 6 buildings in London, but we'll be moving to a new site in 2023, which is in the Olympic part, the east part of London, which is undergoing a big regeneration. And so this will be all of those current 6 buildings moved into one big building, which will be the tallest educational university building in the UK. And it'll be quite, it'll be in a new impressive site next to things like the Victoria and Albert Museum. Will have a post there. And then Sadler's Wells, the theatre company, the BBC, UCL, University College London. So there'll be a new creative hub, and London College of Fashion will have their new campus there from 2023. We're in London. Just a few key facts about London. It's one of the world's largest international cities for students. So 125,000 international students. It's very diverse, as you know already, and it's very well connected to the rest of Europe. It's home to a huge cultural hub of museums and theatres and exhibitions that are constantly going on. It's home to the creative industries in the UK, and it's the most important in Europe for that. And it's a nice city to live in with a lot of green space. And our colleges are really right in the center of all of this. They're really the heart and soul of student experience within creative London, which is a nice quote that I got here about that experience. All of the kind of creative subjects are covered. So from things like new music programs, theatre, theatre design, and technical design for theatre, arts, media, fashion, product design, graphic design, things like creative computing and sort of art criticism. So really to say that it's a really good network of other creatives. So fashion isn't done sort of in isolation, but it's within fine arts or within a broader sphere of the kind of cultural zeitgeist of London. And it's also very international. This is just a highlight. We'll focus on fashion and textiles. I mentioned this very renowned in kind of graduates, obviously graduates like Alexander McQueen from St. Martin's, people like John Galliano, Hussein Chalayan, Stella McCartney, Christopher Kane, Jimmy Choo, really kind of a whole influential sphere.
The best of the best.
The best of the best. And that's across fashion. It's also across fine arts, product design, graphic design. So it's a real melting pot of these creative subjects.
Students get to work together in between sections. For example, do you have students from, I don't know, graphic arts that work with fashion students?
Yes and no. So I would depend on the course as well. For a summer course, it's shorter and it's more focused, or there's a joint exhibition. There's a lot of collaboration between things like fashion communication, and fashion design. So organizing shows, events for fashion designers. There was also a project between graphic design and fashion design at St. Martin's. However, there's a mix of possibilities on projects. But also the approach to the subject is very open. So the influences are coming from drama or coming from textiles or coming from graphics. So because everything is all in kind of one space within the colleges, students are influenced by each other. So there's sort of formal collaborations on the course. And then also there's just walking by and seeing all the notice boards of, hey, we're looking for, this designer, or hey, we're looking for someone for animation, or hey, we're looking for this. So it's that kind of informal, which I think is just as important, if not more so. Mm-hmm. So to sort of talk about the collaboration that we have with you in study abroad, we have these different categories of courses. So to briefly explain what this means, integrated is the opportunity for students to join any of the degree programs. These are 3 or 4 year degree programs, undergraduate across UAL. And again, probably the more interesting ones would be the BA Fashion program and the Textile Design programs that we offer. But there's a lot more. There's actually 100 undergraduate programs. So that's a lot. And it might be interesting to look at something maybe a bit different in interior and spatial design or in another area. If students are have kind of developed a practice that maybe leans away from fashion, even towards media and communications. We have something we call a semester program, which is at London College of Fashion only, and that's a study abroad program that's specific in fashion, specifically for study abroad, visiting students from abroad for a semester. And we also have summer programs, which is quite straightforward. So, as I already mentioned, we have these lots of options of undergraduate programs that students can come to, and really the ones to focus on would be the fashion course at St. Martin's, which is split into different areas, and these are the different areas. So in terms of design, there's women's wear, menswear, fashion print, fashion design with knitwear, and fashion design with marketing. And actually all of these pathways of the BA fashion course in design, they're all really similar in the first year, which is when students are joining this course. So they're doing a lot of the same projects. There's one project that all the students work on together in the first term called The White Show, which is really impressive. So Google that if you can. And they work together, for example, in this White Show with BA Fashion Communication students, which are split into these pathways of fashion communication promotion, fashion journalism, and fashion history and theory. So there's the design and there's the communication, but they're working together and they're both very creative.
All in all, how many students does that represent approximately?
So there's 120 students on the design areas, and there's another, I would say, 60 students on fashion communication. So yeah, the biggest of those pathways in design is women's wear. So yeah, but for students, actually, the experience is not so different being on women's wear, even on menswear or knitwear, because they're working on the same projects in the first year. And this slide just shows a bit more information that you can see online. I mentioned there's a big show that all first year students do in the first term, which is normally called the White Show, and it was called the Light Show last time. There's tons of information, so an interesting podcast, and you can see student work and profile of the tutors, professors. We also have textile design, and this is can be quite a popular option. And textiles could be focused on fashion, or it can be more broader in terms of use of textiles for interiors, for example, or even more kind of artistic expression in use of textiles. Available at Central St. Martin's as a 3-year undergraduate degree, and also at Chelsea College of Art. And these two, if I may say, are kind of considered to be the top textile design programs that we have in the UK, and they're both at a really high level. One is situated next to the fashion course, and the other is within Chelsea College of Arts, which has a prestigious history in fine arts. Okay, so the sort of last part of the sort of equation that we talk about in study abroad for UAL is London College of Fashion in terms of fashion programs available. This is a 14-week semester that's specifically for visiting students from abroad. So we have 3 pathways in fashion product design, so fashion design, one in fashion business, and one in fashion media and communication. And these courses have mandatory and elective units. So students can kind of mix and match more than in other programs to build their semester worth of study. So this is kind of more along the kind of US model of a study semester. So students apply for their main pathway, and then they choose the different subjects. A lot of the courses are more introductory level. So students may be thinking, well, I've got design experience, but I want to do more in business and take more electives in fashion media. So they can build a program that kind of makes sense for them. These are the different electives that students will choose. So some are mandatory, and some they can choose depending on which pathway they're studying. And also, you'll be glad to hear that the course includes a trip to Paris. So this is a 5-day fashion and culture trip that all London College of Fashion study abroad programs include. So that's during the semester and in the summer. So this is a group of students over in Paris. So the courses are small, they're divided up into workshops, lectures, there's weekly activities. So they take students, the professors or tutors who are working in industry are constantly with the students to show them around different parts of London, fashion exhibits or studios. So they really get immersed straight away. And this is one of our sort of very charismatic tutors taking students on a trip around London in Notting Hill, I think that is, and part of a graduation show that we have at the end. And I'm not going to go through that because we're a bit limited on time, but I would like to say that, you know, as part of a big university, or a medium to big university, there's quite a lot of student support that's within our office. So we're a team in the study abroad to help students with any issues about coming to London or navigating the university. Also with accommodation, there's a welcome program for students. There's social events that happen throughout the year, which are really fun. It's kind of creative institutions. There's a lot of interesting events that happen. And there's a student services team, so that's support for health or financial or visa issues. And that's across the university for all students. That's available for study abroad students, as well as things like mental health as well. So there's a big, I think, it's a really big network that UAL we can kind of connect to for that, as well as something called a students' union, which is a national independent union for students. And UAL has a strong students' union running a lot of events, as well as kind of political events for students.
I believe you must have students coming from all over the world.
That's right. I mean, I think actually one fact I heard the other day is UAL is the 4th largest international university in the UK, which surprised me in some ways, but then not in other ways, because I do see that we have a lot of international students. London is very popular for international students, as we looked at. And that's, I mean, that is really key, like, to the experience, because you need to challenge yourself to hear different opinions, you know, to work, you know, it is a global market, and to work and make those connections with people who may, you know, do things differently to you. So kind of challenging creative expression and ways of doing things, and meeting people from around the world. London's a good place for that.
And usually the students that attend your program, do they stay in the UK or they go back to their home after they graduate from UAL?
That's right, yeah, that's a good question. So normally students that are coming over for study abroad will be within their program overseas, and when they finish with their study in London, they will go back to their university, or they'll go back to their home country. Although some students do stay on as well,
Okay.
and some students may, you know, use it as a platform to go on to look at work opportunities in London, or sort of postgraduate opportunities, whether it's at UAL or it could be at another university as well. There's a lot of good institutions that are in London. So yeah.
Okay. And what are the potential job opportunities that they can find after having an experience at UAL?
Yeah, it's a good question. So, I mean, increasingly the job opportunities have got a bit better because we have something called a post-study work visa for at postgraduate level. So if students are interested in studying an MA course in the future after this, then they, and depending where they're from, they can have a 2-year visa.
Wow.
So that's at postgraduate level. So it may be from study abroad. We have students going on to an MA course at UAL, or it could be, you know, somewhere else. And then if they're from, you know, then they have an opportunity to have a 2-year working visa. So that's one opportunity. The other thing is to go straight into industry. Of course, it is incredibly competitive. That's, you know, that has to be said. But, you know, students that are in London do have a kind of foot in the door. An advantage, I would say, over not being in London. So students find themselves internships, and they make those connections that way. And also the connections they find on the course are super important, because, you know, those are students that will be doing things within the industry. So yeah, there's fashion and industry is big in London, and the creative industries is the second largest employer. So there's a lot of opportunities, but then it's also very competitive. So it's that kind of mix.
Which makes it so interesting and exciting.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, like for example, my brother, he's working in the fashion industry. His connections through the colleges and via studying graphic design merged into fashion. So yeah, it's important to have your foot in the door, I would say. Within, you know, one of these kind of big cities for creative industries. So I'll just kind of finish up with the last part of the presentation. We mentioned that there are a lot of social events, clubs and societies for students. And then the last part was about summer programs, which we have for students at a good level across our subjects at UAL. And the idea of these is to give like an authentic undergraduate experience within a 3-week summer program or an 8-week summer program at London College of Fashion. All of London College of Fashion programs take students over to Paris, and that's included in the fee. So that would be the Eurostar from the centre of London to the centre of Paris, accommodation, and then entry into exhibits. So this is sort of a list of our courses for this summer, and we'll have something similar in the future. And it's a cross-section of about 28 courses, and there's quite a few in fashion. I'll just pick out maybe some that could be really interesting, like fashion design for 3 weeks at Centre St Martin's is run twice in July and then August, or fashion communication, and they work together to produce a show. It's fun, but it's also quite intensive. So students will do a lot in those 3 weeks. We have a course called Experimental Fashion Knitwear, which is really interesting. It's a way of learning about sort of alternative or experimental techniques within knitwear, and it's run by the professors that are on the BA Fashion Design with Knitwear course. And that's the same with the other fashion programs.
If the students want more information about those courses, they can go online onto UAL website, I believe, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah. So we have the information online. So do go through. There's an advanced course as well that requires a portfolio, and that's a real kind of tough course for summer. And then we have the other courses, and you can find more information on the website. And here's a nice quote. It tracks again students from all over the world. So it's a really nice diverse mix of students to meet with other students and network. And then we've just some images throughout of the different kind of summer programs. And we run social events during that time as well. So here are some deadlines. Again, you can get more of this on UAL's website, but we have some deadlines here for applying during the semester and then also for summer, and more dates and stuff like that, which you can also find online. And just to sort of stop at this part, which is the application part. Well, for most of our courses, portfolio is really key, and students would require a portfolio to apply to the courses during the academic year. So that's BA Fashion at Central St. Martin's, or BA Textiles at Central St. Martin's, or BA Textiles at Chelsea College of Arts, or the study abroad program at London College of Fashion. The study abroad program at London College of Fashion requires a lighter portfolio, so just a shorter portfolio of only 5 images of work. And as we looked at before, a lot of courses are more introductory level, but not all of them. So students are doing something that complements or is something different to what they have done before. And the portfolio requirement for the degree courses is between 20 and 25 images of work. And so contact us if you need more help in sort of thinking about how to present that. There are some useful videos and instruction, but a key point in the portfolio and what our professors are looking for is creative process, experimentation, and kind of the journey to the finished piece. So not just the final kind of presentation, but the journey on how you arrived there, maybe what mistakes were made, what kind of research you may have done, some sketches, rough sketches, how your brain kind of works. And that's what's really interesting for our tutors. They kind of want to see what students are interested in, rather than just something that's kind of clean and finished. It's very much about the process. And then everything else is fairly standard. So that should be quite straightforward to put together. And then for summer, courses don't require portfolio apart from some exceptions that I've put in there at LCF and an advanced fashion course.
Okay, perfect.
Last bit is just, we've got an Instagram page. So yeah, my colleague was keen that we would promote our page and get more followers. And so here we are.
Sure. I will follow you guys.
Thank you. Thanks, Louise. And I think that's the last slide, which is we do have drop-in video appointments with our team, which students can sign up to if they're interested, or just, there's an email and a website. So much information online about the courses, so it's always good to research more.
And if I can add, if we have students that are interested, they can also ask me any question, and if there's question that I don't know how to answer to, I will direct them to you, Ashley, as we did in the past.
Brilliant. Thank you. That's great.
Perfect. I think it covers it all. Thank you so much for your time, Ashley. It was really informative, and I want to enroll myself, I gotta say. So I hope that our students will also be interested into going abroad. I think it's such an amazing experience. Like personally, I did study abroad, and apart from being in another school, you really get so much insight on the culture, on the people that you meet, on the network that you create locally. So it's really an amazing experience, and I hope that our students will get the chance to live it as well. Thank you for your time, Ashley. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Louise, and thank you so much. Yeah, nice to see you. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Ashley and Louise, for sharing. Dude, London sounds amazing. Can't wait to be there.
With this program, it will definitely be an exciting opportunity for students to pursue their studies overseas.
Yeah. The last 2 years actually limited our travel, so this is something we all can look forward to.
I couldn't agree more.
So next up, we actually have a sharing by Brenda, the Director of Technical Services from VF Asia Product Supply. So let's welcome her.
My name is Brenda McManaman. I'm originally from Ireland. I've been living in Asia for 20 years now, almost 20 years. And I've just recently moved to Singapore. I've been in Singapore since November of last year. My role at VF is the Director of Technical Services, which encompasses, I would say, two parts. One is technical design and the other is color. So I've been in the industry about 25 years, and I've been at VF for about 2.5 of those 25. I started my career working in manufacturing, and so I worked in factories back in Ireland and the UK, and I lived then and worked in Sri Lanka for a number of years, also working in manufacturing. I then moved to Hong Kong, and I worked in a buying sourcing office, and I've been in that environment since, working for multiple UK brands, also Australian brands, and now with VF. I've looked after, I would say, not only apparel, but I've worked with accessories, with footwear, and also with home product over the tenure of my career. Okay, so VF is one of the world's largest apparel, footwear, and accessories companies. It connects people to the lifestyles and activities that they love through a family of iconic outdoor, active, and workwear brands, some of which you, or most probably, that you would be familiar with. The North Face, we have Vans, we have Dickies, Timberland, Napapijri. And then some of our equipment brands like Eastpak and Kipling, and that's just to name a few. VF is a purpose-led, performance-driven organization. It's committed to building and maintaining a workplace that celebrates diversity. So it's one of the things that is really important to the company, is really allowing our associates to really be themselves and bring themselves to work every day. Well, I would say my mornings usually start with I would say meetings with the US, simply because of the time difference. So it usually works like that we most meetings with the US will be in the morning, and then the afternoon is really spent then in working with the teams in Asia. So my team, I'm here in Singapore, but my team are located throughout Asia. So I have about 40 associates in my team, and they're located China, Taiwan, in Indonesia, in Vietnam, Cambodia. We also have Bangladesh, India. So yeah, lots of people in lots of different countries then to connect with in the afternoon. So we talk about, when we have meetings with the brands, we talk about operational. There will be operational things that we need to discuss. There will then also be projects that we're working on with the brands. So it might be a fit renewal project. We talk a lot about, we're doing a lot on 3D product creation at the moment. So that's something that we spend a lot of time discussing, I would say, and having meetings on. Other things are, we're upgrading a lot of our systems, so system adoption as well, and that integration. So those tend to be, generally, I would say now, more recently, would be the subjects that we would talk about. We also then have things where the teams would be involved with, sketch review as well, and tech pack briefing. So that's depending on the time of the year. I do think there definitely is, there's some core elements I think that are captured within TV shows and the movies. They're, albeit they're probably, I would say, slightly exaggerated. But yeah, there's definitely that passion. There's a real vein of passion, and just a real energy, I would say, within the industry. And then also there is just that buzz that you get when, when sales come through and people love your product. So, and everyone celebrates that. So yeah, so I think there are those core elements that definitely, I would say that definitely are captured well. So I studied textile technology, and then my first job was as a management. I entered a graduate program on fabric technology, which was very relevant to my degree and what I had studied. So I was able to apply a lot of what I had learnt in what I did, and then after when I moved then to Asia, I was given an opportunity then to I would say to grow laterally. And that really, allowed me then to learn more around, garment technology. And then, I was supported by the company that I was working for, to go and to train on patterns, but also to spend time in a sample room as well, in one of the factories that we were working with. So over the years, I have spent a lot of time in factories, a lot of time in fabric mills, in laundries, I would say printers, all of those facilities, and really, very, very lucky to have had that, to be working and living in Hong Kong, and to have that on your doorstep has, really, I would say, was really hugely beneficial for me and for my career. I think I would have to say it's the team. I think it's, we've been through a massive change in the last year, and just really seeing how my team have, first of all, come together across all of the regions, like, that I've already described that we operate in, just really as a global team to make sure that what we needed to do, we got done, and to be able to have given them the platform to showcase what they're capable of, and to just watch them grow and develop. At VF, there's two things that are important. One is, it's not just what you do, but it's how you do it. So the behaviors of how you do things, how you treat others, how you approach things, how you collaborate, all of those things. So that is as important as the end result. So for me, it has been hugely rewarding giving my team that platform, and being able to give them that platform, and seeing them grow and continuing to do that. I think that part of the job, I find, is hugely rewarding. I would say, in the scale of challenges, I think most things you can overcome, okay, or you find a way to get a result in terms of, delivering it. You might think you're going to do it this way, but then you might have to divert and do it another way. And therefore adapting to that change takes, and being able to adapt quickly, and not, it's mindset. I think it's mindset is what I'm trying to say, is that the mindset is, changing that mindset and influencing people, to say, right, okay, I know we've spent a number of weeks doing this, but actually now we need to do this. So, and then, just people just understanding and adapting and taking it, accepting the change and the evolution, and then moving forward with it. So I think that's the biggest challenge, making sure that everybody is on board, and just making sure that the mindset that we're cultivating the right mindset, and encouraging people but explaining to them, giving them context. So I think that's really important, but it is a challenge. It's a challenge. I would say there are moments, yes, when it definitely is stressful, but I think it's how you deal with it. You know, and I think, you know, what I might find stressful and what somebody else might find stressful, maybe, you know, completely different. So I would say that I have learned to deal with stress, you know, and learned to manage it better than perhaps I would have. Because I think, you know, in the last couple of years as well, I feel like I have developed as well, you know, as an individual and as a person. And therefore I've got better at managing stress. And, you know, as I always say to my team, one day at a time, let's not get overwhelmed by, you know, the big piece, just this, you know, have the plan and make sure that we have our plan, that we have our backup, and then we tackle it one day at a time. And therefore, you know, that I think removes a lot of the stress. I would say that, you know, a lot of things that I've already talked about. So, you know, that the mindset piece and being open-minded, for change, and expecting change, because, you know, things within the industry are changing at a very rapid pace. So, you know, you need to be ready for that evolution, and you need to move with it because you need to stay relevant. So I would say, yes, open mind. And I would also say as well, just a good learning agility, because I think you know, the days of having learned your skill or your trade and then that's it, you're in a job for life, I think that's no longer the case. So I do think that, you know, that ongoing learning and training and developing and improving yourself, you know, whether that's you know, a portable skill or a technical skill, then, you know, it's both of those are important. So I would say be open to change, but also be open to having to continue that continual learning.
Thanks, Brenda, for the insightful sharing. I'm sure all of us have picked up a thing or two about the industry. Remember, if you have any questions, do head to our Zoom rooms where our staff will attend to you. The link is pinned to our chat box below.
So before we go for a break, we will have Sway walk you through our enrollment process, and we'll see you later.
Hi! Welcome to the quick guide on how to use our new shopping cart function. With this new function, you'll be able to enroll for multiple courses at once, and this will be especially useful if you would like to sign up for our course bundles during our upcoming open house. To start, go to TaF.tc's, and at the top right corner, you'll be able to see a shopping cart button. Click it to access the shopping cart. Once in, you'll be able to see all the courses that you can add to your cart. Do note, however, that you'll need to log into your student account before you start adding courses to your cart. You can choose to either sign up if you're new, or log in if you're an existing student in TaF.tc. Once logged in, you can start adding courses to your cart by clicking Add to Cart, or removing them by clicking Remove from Cart. You'll notice that you'll not be able to add to cart for courses that are already ongoing, courses that you have done before, or courses that are full already. You can also search for specific courses in the search bar if you're finding a particular course to enroll for. Let's add some courses to our cart. To view your cart, click on the purple button View Cart to see what has been added already. You'll be able to see all the courses added, the details like the dates of the course, and the cost to pay. You can also choose to remove any course from your cart by clicking the Remove button. For the open house, you can enter the special open house promo code by typing it here. The code is OHMAR2022 and then click Apply. You'll then be able to enjoy waivers on your application fees for all your courses. Do note that you have to do it individually for each course. Once done, you can click on Pay with Cart to enroll for your courses that you have added into your cart. You just need to enter your cart details and click Pay. If you would prefer to sign up for a bundle through our student portal, you can do so too. Just log in and click onto the shopping cart tab in the menu bar. and you'll be able to add courses into your cart, just like on the TaF.tc website. Do note that both websites are linked. So if you logged out from the student portal, you'll be logged out from the main website as well. And if you add a course to your cart from your student portal, it will be reflected on the TaF.tc website as well. We hope that this video helped you better understand our new shopping cart function. If you need any other help, feel free to reach out to us. Thank you. Welcome to the video on how to enroll in courses at TaF.tc. To start, visit TaF.tc.org. You may browse all programs by clicking into this button. You can also search for specific courses in the search bar if you're looking for a particular course. Click into the course you're interested in, and you'll be able to view the course information, such as course duration, objectives, and requirements. After reading through the details, click Enroll Now to view course schedules. Once you've made up your mind, click this button to register. When this box shows up, click Self-Sponsored if you are not sponsored by a company. You'll then be led to this page for application details. Here, click No if you're a new student. After that, click this button to proceed. Next, you will be required to enter your personal details, such as name, date of birth, address, and contact information. Once done, click Next. Here, you'll need to select your highest qualification. Then, your employment details. Next, let us know if you're being sponsored by your company. Please also let us know how you heard about us. On this page, you'll be required to fill out the mandatory section. Before submitting your application, please read through our policies and terms and conditions. Next, confirm your course details and click this button to review application and proceed to payment. This page summarizes your application. Please check your personal details, course information, as well as your payment details. If you're using SkillsFuture credits, the amount you need to claim will be shown here. Before submitting your application, you can enter the special open house promo code OHMAR 2022 in all caps. You'll then be able to enjoy waivers of your application fee. Lastly, make your payment if applicable and your registration is completed. Let us know if you encounter any other problems. Thank you. Welcome to the guide on how to claim your SkillsFuture credit for the courses you enrolled for. Your claim should be submitted before class starts. To start, go to myskillsfuture.sg. Click Login and then SingPass. You may scan the QR code to log in or log in on SingPass Mobile. Please note that simultaneous logins are not allowed. Once logged in, click Claim SkillsFuture Credits under Digital Services. When you see this page, click Proceed to submit a claim. Next, you'll need to select the course you enrolled for. You may search for the course by inputting the course name here. Click into the course you enrolled for and then select the course run. Input the fee payable by you and the corresponding amount to be claimed. Next, upload the official receipt issued by TaF.tc. Once done, read the terms and conditions and review your application. Lastly, click Submit. If you encounter any problems, feel free to reach out